What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the podcast room for another edition of HTFC. I'm your host, as always, Edgar Rodriguez.
And I'm Patrick Deleon, and joining us again is Octo.
Hey,
welcome back.
We already let you guys know that Octo is going to be a regular. Octo, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well.
Very good to hear. Patrick, what are we talking about today?
So we're doing Champions League recap, a little bit of that. There's a lot of crazy action going on. We're previewing some regular old, league matches, fixtures that are coming up, and we're going to talk about former players as well from our teams that we think would fit in the current day.
Another ball knowledge segment.
Pretty excited to talk about. And then later on, we have a very, very special guest, Edgar, don't we?
Segment 3, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Before we get going, Patrick.
Yes.
Very, very nice shirt.
So this one was...
Fabio might not agree.
Spoiler for later. But so this shirt, I believe, was 3 years ago. So I'm going to say 2022. I think it was the Parley Ocean jerseys that they used to come out with.
Right.
Now they just have them as training tops. But I really like this one's comfy, too. And it's a little bit different, but I like it.
Yeah, I didn't expect that one from you. So very, very nice. Octo, Seattle Sanders, we saw the home kit a few weeks ago. What do you have?
Both in MLS kits. I had to come up with it, but
the Bruce Lee
one
kit.
of the only MLS kits I got. Wow. Got the name on the back too. It's
I really liked this shirt when it first came out.
Not the colors you think when you think Seattle Sounders, but that's what makes it unique,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
I went with a training top today.
And I love
from
it.
From 2019-2020. It pops. You got the yellow, you got pink, you got blue.
Love
Talking about colors that don't fit with the team, here you go. So I guess that's a little theme. But why don't we jump right in?
Yes.
Patrick, what's first on our list of recaps? Because this week in the Champions League was crazy.
So to start things off, some headlines, right? Jose Mourinho. Everybody loves him.
Back at the bridge.
Back at the bridge.
That's
Not
why I chose
Chelsea,
this game.
Though. Not for Chelsea.
That's right.
But for Benfica.
That's right. An incredible just occasion, really, at the bridge, right? You think of Jose Mourinho, you think of all those successful seasons. Octo, you'll remember him when he was in charge of Chelsea, of course, twice in charge of Chelsea, the first time back in the early 2000s, and then he came again. That stint ended a little sour. I would remember Chelsea losing at home to Bournemouth, for example, and he would go crazy in his post-game interviews and stuff. But coming back to the bridge, Richard Rios, an unlikely scorer for Chelsea, right? Because he scores the own goal. Couldn't really do anything about it. It was on the goal line, really. I mean, he tried to clear it over the bar. Didn't work. Chelsea, though, Octo, you're going through a little bit of a rough patch here because Benfica gave you some problems.
It's not even just Benfica. We've been rough. It's unfortunate. You see the third straight red card for Chelsea.
That's a problem as well.
I understand, youngest team in the world currently, but you can't be this undisciplined.
No, absolutely.
Enzo Maresca, his substitutions, his discipline. Enzo's hurting us.
He's putting you through some stress currently.
For sure.
Patrick, Chelsea back in the Champions League. What are we saying?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're a little awkward right now. I feel like they have definitely the potential to be one of those teams that are more commanding in their games, right? And they have a lot of amazing young talent on the squad. But right now, even though, they'll take the 3 points, not a convincing win at all, though, I guess, over Benfica.
No, not at all. Not at all. And a tricky start to the Champions League as well. Bayern, and then you have Benfica. So, they'll hope to gain some momentum in the coming weeks. Of course, starting in the Premier League. You guys got Liverpool next.
Not excited.
We'll preview that in a little bit. What's next? Galatasaray, Liverpool. Patrick, probably the surprise of the week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody really expected Galatasaray to kind of come into this. I mean, sure, a penalty, but, you got to score where you got to, the opportunities you get, right? They took advantage of it. They clearly held Liverpool out of their goal. Clean sheet all around for everybody. That's a huge result for Galatasaray in their hopes of getting out of the Champions League group phase.
Massive. I saw Mo Salah after the game was like he had never experienced an atmosphere like that. It was deafening. There's a picture of him literally closing his ears because it's so loud in there.
Turkey, and I tell you, Turkey is a war zone.
It makes a difference.
Turkey's a war zone.
It makes a difference, and clearly Liverpool aren't used to that. In the Premier League, you don't get atmospheres like that. Yes, Anfield is one of the best, and yes, you do get your lively stadiums, but nothing compared to Turkey. Octo, they were rattled, and Liverpool as well, similar to Chelsea, are kind of stuttering a little bit. That's their second loss in a row.
We're hoping to see that in the Premier League matchup. If both teams can lose.
What a matchup that's going to be.
But I'm happy to see Victor Osimhen getting his goal.
Yeah.
I'm still a bit surprised he went over to Galatasaray.
Yeah,
me
too.
I think that was surprising to everyone.
He's played well over there, and I understand them giving him, more money, but
right.
It's still ridiculous.
The penalty, Patrick. At first sight, I was a little iffy on it.
Right.
I was a little iffy on it, but then you do clearly see Szoboszlai kind of, raise that elbow, and in the Champions League, more times than not, that's going to be called.
Of course. And that, obviously is going to cost you, like Liverpool, points. So Galatasaray, they're going to be coming out of this heads held super high because it's a huge result. It's one of their harder opponents, right? On paper, it's supposed to be one of their harder opponents during this league phase. And to get 3 points that early against Liverpool, great job for them.
And the beauty of this format now, Octo, is that you take points away from someone like this, and you don't see him again. You don't see him again.
Yeah. I saw somebody say that exact same thing. I was like, I think that makes it a little bit more enjoyable because you have to win it right then and there. You can't get revenge later on.
And then you just move on, and you got to pick yourself up somehow. So Galatasaray rob Liverpool, boom. They can just run away with those 3 points, and they'll be more than happy to do so.
For sure.
Next up is probably, it was the big one. It was the match this weekend. Not the weekend, early week. Barca PSG. PSG stealing a late, Octo. Gonçalo Ramos. Questions about offside. He barely stayed on. But again, we're seeing Hansi Flick, his high line. It's costing Barca at times, and this is another example of that.
You live by the high line, you die by the high line. I can understand. It worked so well earlier last year, especially in the Champions League. Barcelona had the record high offside trap in the Champions League, but this season it's not looking too great. It's not looking too great.
They drew against Rayo not too long ago, Patrick. Now you drop points early in the Champions League. That's 2 losses, don't forget, for Barca to start this one. Are we kind of worried, or is it more? Do we give credit to PSG for staying in it and going there to Montjuic, a tough place to go, and getting the 3
I think
points?
it could be a mixture of both.
Yeah.
Barcelona maybe they had too much pressure coming into this campaign because look, 2 losses out of 2 so far. PSG are one of the best teams in the world currently. Right. They still are. So I think you can give them credit for going on this away trip, getting the 3 points, especially near the end of the match. But Barcelona, they're going to have a lot of questions being asked.
100%. And that's natural, right? When you just get... You think you're going to come away with a point, and you end up coming away with nothing. And against the PSG side, which, again, we've seen Luis Enrique try new things, always an innovator, right? Going up to the suite level to coach, right? I don't know if you've seen that. And literally on a call with his assistant, handing instructions out, things we see in rugby, things we see in NFL, coordinators sitting in 7th floor suites. You know what I mean? So always trying to get an advantage over his rivals, Luis Enrique, and it's working out so far this season. Yes, they lost to Marseille, but huge result.
Especially with a match like this. I mean, both teams so injured. No Dembele, no Kvaratskhelia.
No Doué.
No Doué.
Yep.
The three pivotal players in their Champions League run last year. And unlikely hero, 19-year-old Semi Mayalu scored in the final last season. Back at it again this season. Add Marquinhos to that list of injuries for PSG. Barca also had a few, so that is a great point. And that was one of the main talking points heading into this one. Another huge result, Patrick, that caught your eye is Atletico Madrid. It looks like Diego Simeone.
But
we've slandered him all season. He's kind of,
Yeah, so I specifically brought up not just their 5-1 beating against Frankfurt, but their 5-2 also against Real Madrid. Because where were they before those 2 games? They were in really questionable form. Yes. And then out of nowhere, 10 goals in 2 games. What is going on?
Ridiculous.
Completely dismantled Real Madrid at home. At home.
In La Liga? Yeah.
Julian Alvarez completely dominating.
He's been ridiculous.
He is on fire. On fire.
And they do it again against Frankfurt at home. 5-1, and it's unreal. Just this quick turnaround. Yeah. It's like, where did this even come from? Where did Diego Simeone pull this out of?
Yeah. We haven't seen Griezmann involved too much. He got a goal at home against Frankfurt. Octa, we were very negative, and we have to admit we were so down on Atleti, and the start that they've had in the league has warranted that reaction. Was that Real Madrid game a turning point?
I think it was. You look at this season. This season's kind of odd already. It's a season for the nines. You see how many elite strikers are playing at an elite level.
Kane.
Even Haaland, Alvarez.
Yeah, Haaland. Yeah.
Yes, I know City's kicking themselves losing Alvarez, but you look at that Atleti team. They've not. They can't really compete with the two giants of the Liga, and it's rare that we see them compete. I know that 2021 season, Suarez went there.
That's right.
But it's hard for Atleti to compete. Excuse me.
Yep.
But they needed this game. And I think it's a massive confidence booster for them going forward.
And especially, it kind of knocks any kind of suggestions that Real Madrid game was just a fluke, right? They did it again right away. Staying. They hit the ground running against Madrid, and then they kept it going against Frankfurt. It's going to be interesting, though, to see if they can keep that rolling. We know Atleti, usually their defensive selves, and Diego Simeone sometimes hurts himself playing that way. But, hey, these last two games, they will be very happy with it. And also puts to bed he's in danger of getting sacked or in danger of losing his job. Like, that gets put away with two results like that. 10 goals, like you said, in the last two games. Ridiculous. Let's preview some games now, Patrick. Which ones are you looking forward to?
So, first up, we're going to do Orlando City versus Columbus Crew
this
weekend.
That's right.
2 games left in the regular season. It's packed. Like, all the playoff spots are already filled. Now it's just a matter of where does everybody finish in the next 2 games.
Man,
right?
It's so tight, though. 5th to 9th.
It is, and if you go up, you could probably potentially still finish 3rd, assuming all other results go our way, right?
Okay.
But there's a lot of room for movement here. Right now, we don't want to be in 7th, right? Like I've been telling you, ideally, 4th place is the bare minimum because you want that home field advantage coming into the playoffs, right?
The higher seed,
but it's so packed up here that it doesn't look. I don't feel confident that we'll actually be able to obtain that this year. So if heading into the playoffs, it's going to look really travel heavy. But that's why this game against Columbus, they're always big games. I feel like whenever we play Columbus, it's always a big one. But this one. No bigger. Columbus, obviously 9th in the play-in spot.
Yes.
They're going to have to go on through an extra game if they stay there against probably the Chicago Fire if they also stay there. Chicago, by the way,
resurgence.
Making the playoffs for the first time since 2010.
Wow.
So knocking out the Red Bulls right underneath Columbus after 15 years straight.
There you go.
Making the playoffs. But they don't do anything, so it doesn't matter.
No. The Red Bulls are just there, really.
Right. But, yes, this matchup, Orlando City, huge for 3 points.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but a couple years ago, it was Columbus who ended Orlando City's playoff run. I was there.
2-0, yes.
2-0. Orlando got very close, multiple occasions, just like last year against the Red Bulls.
I see that
you saw that. No, but I mean, a massive game, Octo. And when you have a memory like that, just recently, man, the players and just the coaching staff, everyone will remember that game. And if you're of an Orlando City persuasion, you will hope that they put that to bed immediately.
Yeah, games like that, even not historic rivalries, they mean a little bit more.
Sure.
You lose to a team season before, 2 seasons before, you grow a sense of hatred. I know when I played football, you lose to players, it hurts. Yeah. You see them again, you want to kill them.
Yes.
You can't count Orlando City out in this match. I think it should be good. I'm hoping for a win, but you never know what you're gonna get.
It's gonna be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one. I'm sure you are. Let's go back to Premier League though. Chelsea, Liverpool. Octo, we spoke about this just recently. Okay, it's two teams who are kind of stuttering, right? Yeah. That's the best way I can describe it because, huge expectations coming in. Of course, Chelsea, ton of signings. Liverpool, ton of signings. They also got rid of a bunch as well. So Arne Slot, now this is his squad. But you have a player like Florian Wirtz. And Patrick, I have to give you the credit.
Mid.
Because immediately when he was announced, you were like, this is a potential fraud watch list, right? And it's turned out to be that way.
What has Wirtz done?
It's turned out to be that way. Question for you guys. Jamie Carragher was speaking about it after the Galatasaray loss. Does Arne Slot have to take him out of the team?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know how you can.
He's done nothing.
He spent $100 million on him.
Yeah, that's true, though. That's true.
You can't take him out.
I guess, but it's like, because if you take him out, then you accept, okay.
You accept he's a bum.
You absolutely.
But that doesn't mean it's
wasting money.
That doesn't mean it's permanent, though.
No,
just
kind of it's taking a
little slap on the wrist. It's like, wake up,
there,
sit him down for a big game against Chelsea. Will he? That's the question. Do you want to reset, go back to that midfield that was so successful last year? Supposedly McAllister,
even bring an
and Gravenberch, Endo maybe to provide more solidity. Or do you keep a Verts? Is this a game for him though?
He's got to click somewhere.
Is this the game for him? Away at the bridge, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be a hostile game. I think he takes him out. I have a feeling that he pulls him, sit on the bench, maybe come on, make an impact 70th-ish minutes, depending on how the game goes. I don't think he starts this game.
I don't think so
Something
either.
is telling me that this, like Arne, after 2 games lost, I think this is gonna wake up Arne Slot.
I think so, because this is really, really, really like
what's going on?
like questionable in terms of like you spent all this money on this one guy, and I told you from the beginning, Edgar, mid. It was never gonna do anything. He was never gonna prove that he's worth that much money. Yeah. And so far he's done that. So
we're yapping, guys. Go with Japan, Patrick.
So we're going back to Japan again, another week. But I've been keeping you up to date with the title race.
J-League.
I've been keeping you up to date with the title race, Edgar, but slowly we're starting to see more and more teams fall behind. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, there was only 4 points from 1st to 7th.
Yes.
Now we're seeing a bit of a gap here.
Okay, it's opening up.
Now.
It's opening up.
So this matchup, we're looking at Hiroshima versus Machida Sylvia. So this is a big matchup, of course. There's 6 games left for everybody in the table. They both are sitting at 55 points, 9 points behind first place, right? And then Kashima's sitting at 57. So I feel like if this ends in a draw, both teams can probably decide on wrapping things up because the momentum.
The title goodbye.
Yeah, the momentum is losing. Like last, maybe I don't remember if this was last episode, but we talked about Urawa versus Kashima Antlers.
I believe it was. It was. Yeah.
Well, Urawa ended up losing that match. They're out of the title race. Kashima are still on top. So this is going to be very important just to see where exactly. How much farther can they push the teams above them?
Interesting.
Because you still have ACL, the Champions League 2 in 3rd place, and then Champions League for 1st and 2nd. So those are the more coveted spots, of course. But it's really cramped. I'm not sure how exactly this is going to end in the next couple weeks.
But I'm going to ask you anyway. Yeah. Kashima to win it?
By
end
the
their drought?
As long as I don't see Kobe at 1st place, I'll be happy. Because they annoy me. They really do annoy me. And I just want to see somebody else win for once.
Not a fan of Iniesta's old team?
Wow.
Not really.
And Podolski. Can't forget Podolski. Yeah. Okay, well, start the Wiesel Kobe hate watch, I guess,
yes,
Patrick. What have you done? Let's go back to Europe, though, to finish segment 1. Milan, Juve, Octo. We have to keep going back to Serie A.
It's so exciting.
Yes. 1 point. Yes. Separates the top 4 at the moment. Milan, huge win against Napoli. Christian Pulisic going crazy at the moment. We saw Modric drop to his knees.
Celebrating
if you didn't know, Champions League win. You think
we're only like 4 or 5 games into the Italian season, by the way. Like,
but it was such an intense game. It was such a fantastic performance from, don't forget, Massimiliano Allegri's Juventus. He's going to face his former side, who he won so many titles with. Do Milan kind of, keep their 1st place, Octo? Do you see Juve kind of wrinkling and kind of disrupting their great start to the season?
That Milan team right now
is cooking.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Last year we saw players like Christian Pulisic play wonderfully. But I didn't expect the entire Milan team to kind of pick it up.
No, me neither.
What, 8th last year?
Yeah, terrible season last year.
Terrible.
Apart from that Bernabeu win.
Yeah, I do. Yes, I remember that.
I was very happy for that. But I'm going to be honest, I still see Juve giving them some trouble. It's such a tough match. Like City, it just means more. Every game is intense. Every game is close, but I still think AC Milan will pull out a win.
So
maybe
too.
a 2-1 win.
Wow.
A late winner. You
At
might see Luka Modric do a knee slide again.
Man.
I could see that.
Tune in for it because that is going to be huge this weekend. That wraps up segment 1, boys. We covered so much. We haven't even talked about some of the other Champions League results. There was so much. Shout out Arsenal 2-0 against Olympiacos. Thank you very much. Kane already on 17 goals this season, scoring 2 scoring 2 against Paphos, making their Champions League debut. Who else? Tottenham went to Bodo Glimt. Couldn't get the win. 2-2. So much happened, guys.
Europa League semi-rematch for that.
That's right. That's very true. Very true. Great point. But Octo, you're not going anywhere because we're keeping you on for segment 2, another ball knowledge segment. Patrick, you ready?
Yes,
Let's do it. We'll be back after this.
Hi, sorry to interrupt your show, but I want to give you a little rundown of everything we do here at the Hitting the Field Network. My name's Nick Cohen, and I'm the host of Hitting the Field, our flagship show heading into season 21. Live streaming every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we talk about anything and everything sports. Tuesdays, we have season 3 of Girls Got Game. Hosts Katie Sue Christensen and Mia Flores discuss all the biggest topics in women's sports. On Wednesdays, make sure to tune into Season 7 of The Combine, hosted once again by Ty Patton. This podcast dives deep into every detail about the NFL season. Next on Thursdays, we live stream Season 11 of HTF Bets, brought to you by Andrew Gregg, Diego Ortiz, and Ben Huber. Any sports betting questions? I'll let the pros answer those on Thursday. Then TGIF, because we have new episodes of Season 9 of Nighttime, hosted again by Matthew Bracker and Kathleen Moore. Nighttime keeps you up to date on all UCF and collegiate sports. Penultimately, Edgar Rodriguez and Patrick Deleon are back for Season 2 of HTFC. Soccer is a year-round sport, so make sure not to miss HTFC. Lastly, end your week on Sundays with our vlog squad, asking the hard-hitting questions and letting you behind the scenes of our studio days. Make sure to follow us on our social medias like Instagram and TikTok to stay updated on all HTFN news. Remember to subscribe to the Hitting the Field Network on YouTube, leave a like and comment, and with that, I think we're ready for your next segment. I've been Nick Cohen, and enjoy the rest of your show.
Everyone, as promised, the three of us are back for segment 2. Now, Patrick, we had fun last episode, okay? We did some guessing games. We did, what else did we do? Remind me.
Club to Club,
yes.
Right, recently.
And then what else was it?
What did we do? See, we do so much on this podcast.
Anyway,
it all blends together.
Anyway, you see, we're authentic. We're not cutting that out, guys. What did we do? Hold on. What was it?
I don't remember, but it was fun.
It was fun. It was fun. Yes. Go find out for us and come back. Anyway, today we are doing something a little different, Octo, okay? We are going, through former squads, right? Former players who were part of teams that weren't so successful, okay? But who we think, right, would fit into that same team now. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah. So, for example, an Arsenal player from 2017 who I think would fit in now. Okay, right. So that's where we're starting.
Arsenal, Orlando City, Chelsea.
That's right. Okay, we have that solidified. I'm gonna kick things off with a name.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, Aaron Ramsey. Okay, injury-ravaged career. Okay, but it was an 8 who we could always, when he was on the pitch, he would create magic for us. Okay, again, he spent a long time. I believe from 2014, 2013-ish, that era, all the way up until when he left. Great player in there, so much potential that was unfortunately wasted for a long period of time due to injury.
And kind of just became a meme.
Yeah. Yes, made out of glass, all these things, kind of similar to Jack Wilshere, who I was thinking of adding into this as well. A little different though with him, of course, grew up an Arsenal boy, spent longer at the club. Did some great things, but for Aaron Ramsey, I just think back to him and it's like, man, we had a great midfielder in there.
So then how would he benefit you now? Where would you put him in now?
So would he start? That's a question mark over that. I mean, I think our midfield has just been revolutionized these last few years. I mean, he doesn't start against Zubi, Rice, Odegaard. But as a squad player, a rotational player in there, when teams are sitting in a low block against us, which we see a lot, throw him on in the second half, I think he would be fantastic.
That seems fair.
I think he would be amazing.
Yeah.
Off the bench, a little weapon up our sleeves. Patrick, a name who I enjoyed watching, I can't lie.
So we're going to go back to the beginning of Orlando City. Kyle Larin.
In MLS. Kyle Larin.
In MLS, of course, 2015, 2016. He scored plenty of goals for us. Unfortunately, the rest of the team was pretty mid, right? So he eventually got super frustrated, though, to the point where he essentially forced himself out of the club. Went to Turkey, right?
That was
right. That was that jump. But the way things ended, sorry, not 2016, 2017. That's when he left.
That's right.
But things ended so poorly there, he just forced himself out. But a striker of that caliber at that time, fitting into our system now, would have been amazing. Yeah, I mean, granted, I like Luis Muriel this season. He's done really well.
Sure.
Duncan Maguire, he's been hurt for most of the season, but he's been, he's coming back into form. But a guy like him, in comparing to, say, so 2015, 2016, 2017, 3 seasons. Let's look back at the last 2 seasons for Orlando City, including this current one. 2023 was our highest points tally ever, and we didn't have a really good striker like
Duncan Maguire?
Duncan Maguire, he did great, but imagine Kyle Larin on that team.
You see,
last year, we made it to the conference final, right? We don't have a striker. This year, thankfully, all of our DPs have been producing, but a guy like him would have done magical numbers with Martin Ojeda or Pasalic on the sides, Hey. So I would have loved to see him here.
look,
if he was,
he was a solid MLS striker. I mean, from what I remember, he would bang in the goals for Orlando City.
He's fallen off a couple years from now, but
he's now at Mallorca.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, he is on loan at Feyenoord at the moment. Hasn't appeared for Feyenoord. Yeah. Will he appear for Feyenoord? Great question. But 43 goals in 87 Orlando City appearances, so he was clinical in MLS at that time. Yeah. And you think he would fit in? Interesting.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
I do think he would
fit in. The last few years, I mean, it has been Facu, right, who was getting you the goals, who was producing from a wide area for Orlando City. Kyle Larin back in the MLS. What do you think about that, Octo?
I'm going to be honest. I'm not too much of an MLS watcher, but I do... I mean, any striker upgrade's always a good thing. Right. I know.
Sure.
Yeah. I know for teams that struggle, even Chelsea, when we lost Nicholas Jackson, we had no one up top.
Yeah.
So you always need a critical striker, someone to bang in goals. So.
Nicholas Jackson, now at Bayern Munich on loan.
He just scored. He
did against Pafos, but he scored anyway.
The mighty Pafos.
Anyway.
Now.
Who's your first?
I'm starting with a player near and dear to my heart, our old captain, Thiago Silva. 2022, Thiago Silva, loved him. This right after we won the Champions League, but that was the worst season I've ever watched as a Chelsea fan. We finished 12th, the lowest point total we've ever had.
Crazy.
Comparable to United last year, they finished with like 42 points. We had 44, but we finished 12th. They finished 17th, so we're nothing like them. But Thiago Silva strengthening that back line, I don't care that he's 49 years old. I don't care that his bones are made out of glass. He was a pivotal player in that team.
Sure.
And to be honest, for these past few games, we've needed a stronger back line. I love Trevor Chalobah, but he can't compete. Losing that header against United, getting a red card against Brighton.
Yep.
Just playing bad in the next game. He's got to go. And I think Thiago Silva comes in, takes that spot. We have an injury with Colwell, but even if you move Chalobah to that right center back, Thiago Silva is a rock at defense. And
you have to love him.
You
just saw in the Club World Cup with Fluminense.
How much it meant to him too to come back.
That was fun seeing him there too.
That team talk, the raw emotion of it, the fact that he still has the hunger to keep going. Yeah. You said he's 49. That's not accurate, but I mean, he's getting on a bit, and he's still giving it his all over in Brazil, man.
An icon of the sport, to be honest.
Yeah,
not even like
for sure.
Those PSG years were ridiculous. It seemed like they were just pumping out Brazilian center backs: David Luiz, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva.
Yeah, that's a great
point.
There's
probably a few I'm forgetting.
You're right. You're right. No, that's a great shout. And Chelsea, you speak about them being a young team. Would fit him perfectly. He would solve that kind of inexperience kind of factor that's hurting Chelsea at the moment. So that is a great pick from you. Let's go back to me, okay, and I'm going to bring up a name who hurt Chelsea last weekend. That is Danny Welbeck, okay, up top, kind of like a Kyle Larin, number 9 who could make a difference. Danny Welbeck was always one of those players who, ever since he moved from United to Arsenal, would always just appear with goals, wouldn't score you 20 goals a season. That's not what I'm looking for here, okay? I'm looking for a backup striker who would, let's say Gyökeres isn't firing on all cylinders, bam, Danny Welbeck, I would trust him, okay, to come on, score goals. We're going to speak about one of his goals that I remember very fondly in the next segment, okay? But Danny Welbeck, he's almost gotten better with age. I don't know, I kind of feel that way. At Brighton, João Pedro leaving, he takes that role. He fills it in perfectly for me.
I think so. He's actually been pretty prominent at Brighton. So
he has.
I will give you that. Like, I never disliked him. I always thought maybe.
I did.
I always thought maybe he could
recency bias
on him. He could just do a little bit more, right? I always felt that way towards him. Like, he could just do a little bit more.
Okay.
Like, there's something missing. But I never disliked him. So it's kind of nice seeing him, thrive a little bit at Brighton.
Listen, I love watching him banging the goals for Brighton. Honestly, I think he deserves it. I think he's a player like... We were talking about Emil Smith-Rowe last week, and how, that's what we did. That's what we did. Forgotten Seasons, that's what it was. That's what it was. Okay, finally came back to me.
That's so funny.
We were talking about guys like that who needed a move, right? And I think it was the same for Welbeck. Kind of needed that move, become the main guy somewhere. And I think Brighton has fitted him perfectly. And he is banging in double-digit goals. I think last season was his highest goal tally. Hey, aging like fine wine, you might say.
Like what you said, I feel like he could kind of fit in like a super sub, kind of like Nketiah for Arsenal.
There you go.
Although a better version and maybe not fall off as much.
Right.
I think Welbeck could be a good signing.
Hey, I agree. Look, we have cried, oh, why is Havertz being our striker? Oh, why is Mikel Merino playing striker for us? Although he scored away at Newcastle, by the way. So love myself a little Mikel Merino number 9 action. But Danny Welbeck would fit perfectly, I think. Anyway. Yoshimar Yotun.
Have you ever heard of him?
I did, and you brought me back.
So, yeah, 2017 to 2018. So, I really loved him as our 6.
Peruvian midfielder,
Peruvian
right?
international.
Yes.
He would have had great chemistry with Cartagena currently and Gaese in goal if he was part of this team. I really loved him. And he played for 2 seasons, and those 2 seasons were the lowest of the lows in Orlando City history. You know, let's keep in mind, 2018 was the worst season. Up until that, at the end of that season, Orlando City literally made it the worst season for any MLS club ever. And then Cincinnati came in the next year and made it that title there. So they took that away from us, thankfully. But point is, he was so, and even in that terrible squad, as a number 6 for 2018, 4 goals, 7 assists, not terrible for a really, really terrible squad. And I genuinely think he was very technically gifted in that midfield. I really would have loved to see him thrive in this new Oscar Pareja era. He just left a little bit too early, but I mean, I don't blame him because it was a total trash show. Like, it was horrible. That's the only way I can explain it because it was awful. I sat through and watched 34 games of pure pain, and it was okay. But I would love to see him, if he, obviously like younger, he's like 35 now, but come back, play with this squad, he would fall in place really, really well. And I think I would feel so much more confidence in our midfield as a whole.
Do you think Prime Yotun starts for an OC today?
Yeah, I would put him over Araujo at the 6. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I would easily throw him in there. Wow. So that was like one of the first names I thought of to go on the list.
Interesting. Okay, well, hey, that is a great name. You pulled out from years and years and years ago. Okay, yes. Thibaut Courtois, Octavious Lawrence. Okay, Chelsea days. Why 2015-16 in particular?
Well, 2015-16 was one of the first years since 2010 that we didn't win any trophies. Okay. We had just come off a Premier League win, Jose Mourinho's final season.
There you go. That's right. That's right.
And this was like one of the last seasons. He left in 2018 to go to Real Madrid, but he kind of got phased. We were phasing Petr Cech out and Thibaut Courtois in.
You sent him over to Arsenal, Petr Cech?
Yeah, like we'd love to do.
I actually enjoyed Petr Cech.
No, he was class. He was class. But I had to pick a goalie. I was debating between Edouard Mendy, but I remember Edouard Mendy kind of falling off.
He did. Now he's over in Saudi.
Haven't heard anything since.
Nope.
But Thibaut Courtois has been class his whole career. But in that season, 2015-2016, we finished 4th. Not bad, but not up to Chelsea standards for those years. And I feel like he comes in, he replaces Robert Sanchez. I don't have to say much about Robert Sanchez. I know he came up. He played very well in that Bayern game, and he played great in the Club World Cup.
Yep.
I don't care. He's not good enough. He's not Chelsea quality. Thibaut Courtois comes in 6'7" frame, can block the whole goal. He's a monster. He's a monster, and there's no one better I'd rather have behind him.
I like that.
I
like that. Hey, and again, we talk about improving the Chelsea squad now.
Oh,
perfect.
Absolutely
perfect. For my third one, I've been thinking about this, okay, and I didn't even have a solid answer.
Yeah, the rundown's blank.
Exactly. And I honestly, it's a little different, okay? And I've been thinking back to Wenger's last year's kind of, okay, when Unai Emery came in as well, when we were finishing 8th in the league and stuff like that. I am going to end up going, okay, with the boss now, Mikel Arteta in that 6th role, okay? Now, he was a fantastic midfielder in his day, okay, holding midfielder. I remember his last game was at home against Aston Villa, the end of the 2015-16 season. Don't ask me why I remember this, but I do. He hit a shot off the crossbar, hit the goalkeeper's back, and went in. So, unfortunately, an own goal, but, he scored in his last game. I kind of liked him in there, man. Kind of provided solidity. Would he start again? It's kind of like an Aaron Ramsey type thing, okay? Obviously more defensive. Mikel Arteta was a 6. Played at Everton, PSG, all that stuff, right? But I think you add his experience. You talk about experience as well. Yeah. We're a young team also. You think about our most experienced players, and you're thinking Gabriel, Saliba. Those are young guys still at the back, Mikel Arteta, I'd like to see him back in a shirt. He brings that passion. Okay, I think he would be a nice little addition.
I actually like that.
Yeah,
I
really
like that. That's pretty interesting.
From a different era of Spanish football as
For
well.
sure.
A lot more hard-nosed, a lot more
For
aggressive,
sure.
and very technical. You think of those midfields and those Spanish midfielders that time.
Again,
Arteta would be a very
an
good
option
pick.
off the bench, maybe starting a few games here and there. Hey,
where would you start him though? He's not. Is he getting the Zubamendi spot or is he getting the Odegaard spot? I know Odegaard just started playing well again, but
no, he would have to be in place of either Rice or Zubamendi, which is crazy to say. I understand that. But yeah, pair him with Rice. I think that's a solid midfield in there. I don't think much is getting past that. Your third one.
So this is an interesting one.
Very interesting. Okay, get ready for this.
I'm going for Adam Greenwis, right? But he was our backup keeper from 2018 to 2019. But listen. But here's the reason. 2018, let's go back to that season again. Horrible season.
Right.
Joe Bendik in goal.
Man.
We'll talk about him later, but he's not on my list of memories. Well, he is, but he's an honorable mention. Worst keeper I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God.
That year, by the way, we conceded 74 goals. 74 goals in 34 games, okay? Joe Bendik being the reason why.
That's impressive.
And Shane O'Neill, which we'll get to later. But, so, Bendik gets banished to the bench.
Yeah,
right?
you never see him again.
Greenwis comes in, and in the few games he gets with Orlando City, he genuinely makes a difference in goal. He instantly becomes a favorite for everybody. Everybody's like, why didn't we play him from the start? Why did we take so long to get him in net? All right, fast forward 2019. We bring in Brian Rowe. Brian Rowe, another completely mid MLS keeper. Greenwis back on the bench, but he would appear in the cup games and all that kind of stuff. And every time he played, he would always do something memorable and actually won us games.
Yeah.
A memorable moment from Adam Greenwis, 2019 Open Cup. We beat New York City in the quarterfinal in penalties to play Atlanta in the semifinals. That was a big infamous, because at that point, that was the farthest we had gotten in the Open Cup. And he won us the penalty shootout. And I really loved him. Then he went out to go play around in the USL. He's currently in the Charleston Battery, I believe.
Interesting.
He was with Orlando CDB for a couple years. They brought him back. But I feel like if we had that Adam Greenwis from that time, and how I tell you, Pedro Galles said he's aging out. I don't mind letting him go.
I was going to bring that up.
If we had that Adam Greenwis now, I'd stick him in goal, and I'd be completely happy with it.
Look, you're of the mindset that, El Pulpo is coming to the end of his time at Orlando City. So, hey, that makes sense.
That's why that was the thought process in that selection.
Willian, Octo, and thankfully you chose 2013-14 because quite honestly, when he came on loan, and that was a waste of space. Talk to me about Willian in his prime, though.
Well,
because that's a different story.
Oh, yeah. 2013-2014 was a weird season for Chelsea. It was the last year of Mourinho. We had a down year. It wasn't great. I still think we won the FA Cup, but it wasn't an elite season.
Right. Not up to standard.
And our top goal scorer that season was Eden Hazard. And I wanted to pick Eden Hazard, but that didn't really seem fair. Obviously, you would think, who would you bring back in Chelsea? It's Eden Hazard. So I had to go for someone else. I think Chelsea suffers a lot from bad wing play. Especially on that left wing, Willian can play both sides. I like Estevao.
Wow.
I thought about it.
I had to. I'm sorry. I had to.
But that left wing, we just signed Jamie Bino-Gittins, and I'm gonna be honest. Jamie Bino-Gittins is like the winger version of Benjamin Sesko. He's not impressing me. He can't dribble the ball. That's a
crazy comparison.
He's just his physical attributes. He's not technical in the slightest. I think Willian on the left side, one of his best attributes was his crossing ability. At least at Chelsea, not at Arsenal, but at least at Chelsea, he could have whipped that ball in. And we have João Pedro, who's very technically gifted. He can bring the ball down. And I feel like João Pedro one-touch shots from Willian would be great. You have Palmer. You have Neto, who can play both sides, too.
I was going to bring him up.
Neto, I think, is a great super sub. He's a player who can come in. He always plays with 100% intensity. Yep. I think Willian could kind of fit in that same role, too. And mentor Estevao, too. They have similar skill sets, but I'd like Estevao to keep starting.
How many more wingers do you have? 10 more? I mean, how long is
honestly,
this list?
They might sign all three of us next.
Hey, I think we have a good chance with the massive squad they have at Chelsea. But that ends our segment 2. Octa, that was very fun. 2 segments this week. Yeah. You're moving up in this world, huh? At HTFC, 2 segments. But stay tuned, because a very special segment 3 is on its way.
This is Kathleen Moore, one of your hosts here at the Hitting the Field Network, and I am here at the heart of the UCF campus, the Student Union Plaza. Today, we're going to be going around man on the street style, asking the very important questions about our football team.
So UNC in just a couple days' time, give me your truthful, honest take on Bill Belichick.
He's good at NFL, but I mean, college he doesn't look so good so far.
I think he honestly really lucked out with Tom Brady. I remember watching him when I grew up, 6-time Super Bowl champion with the Patriots. The real question is with no Tom Brady, is he still as great as he is?
I think that his team, though, I think he has not a lot to work with.
College football, he's not ready. NIL, not ready. He is not ready to perform in the college landscape. And Scott Frost, okay, Nebraska didn't do great. That's fine. I get it. Okay. Come back home. Come back to UCF. This is where we're going to perform. Yeah. This is where we're going to do it.
$1 million question. Ready? Will UCF make a bowl game this year?
Yes.
I don't know, maybe.
We need to. I feel like as the fan base, we need to, especially to support Scott Frost, get everybody behind Scott Frost. That's what's going to be needed.
For sure. I mean, we play some pretty bad teams.
I think we definitely will.
There's going to be games like this and like the Jack State game where it's going to be close and like whoever wants it more is going to get it.
We want you guys to win. I like to say that UCF is the diamond in the rough university. Be the diamond in the rough and show everybody that you are the diamond.
Well, everyone, as you can see, we have some pretty elite ball knowers here on the UCF campus, don't we, Edgar?
Yes, we do, and they're all excited not just for this week's game, but also for the whole rest of the season. So make sure you stay tuned, not just to nighttime, not just to HTFC, but to all 6 shows on the Hitting the Field YouTube channel.
And be sure to check out our Instagram and our TikToks. Go Knights!
Charge on! And we are back for the last segment of this week's show. Last week, you would remember Danny Karajan from Nona Soccer. We're not changing that theme because the owner, the big boss is here. Fabio Silva, welcome back to UCF, into the podcast room, into the Nicholson School of Communication and Media. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for inviting me, and this is exciting. It's good to be back here.
Yes.
Didn't remember the whole parking thing, and you had to walk miles to get to the buildings and stuff. But besides that, I'm proud of you guys. It's so nice to be here. I'm impressed to see what you guys showed me the back of the scenes.
The main studio, yeah.
And I've been watching the 2 first segments, and you guys are rocking. So thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. Of course, you played for UCF men's soccer. Many people don't know that, but a former striker for UCF. So we might talk about that a little later. But we have a sentimental segment, I think, Patrick. Is that the right way to describe it? Talk us through what we're going to be doing.
So originally, for at least the idea of this segment, right? We're going to go through a couple categories, talk about our favorite memories just as a fan.
As a fan.
I just went solely Orlando City memories.
I went mostly Arsenal.
My favorite memories come from them, and they always will be.
Yep.
But we're just going to talk about them, see what comes up, and it should be a pretty fun and interesting segment to just reminisce on a lot of good memories. Or some bad ones. So we'll see.
Fabio sent me his list very quick. I was expecting him, to take the whole night, going through all the memories. But boom, half hour in, you had your list ready to go.
Corinthians touches my heart, so it's easy.
We were gonna make it a Corinthians trivia segment for him. He was like, let's open it up a little more.
Yeah, I agree.
We're gonna start with our favorite managers, okay? And as an Arsenal fan, you might think, Arsene Wenger, easy. Okay, it's us as a fan, okay? So what we remember as a fan, so of course it's going to be Mikel Arteta, okay? Ever since 2018, he came in and we were in the dumps, okay? Quite frankly, we were just a shadow of what Arsenal should be. And to see where he has taken us now, I mean, hey, look, Champions League back, challenging for the Premier League 3 years in a row, just so close. Will this be the year? Hopefully. I think he has done so much good just for the culture of the club. Comparing to where he picked us up, I mean, you look at his first lineup and now, I mean, this team now probably beats that team by a good 5 goals, okay? It's not even close. But yeah, Mikel Arteta for me has a special place in my heart. Now needs to win a big trophy or else the pressure is going to keep mounting. But yeah, Mikel Arteta, I think it's kind of easy.
I agree. I think he's like out of, my time watching soccer, right? I would agree. Mikel Arteta, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd pick him naturally because look at where you guys are at now compared to 10 years ago?
Right.
Like, huge transformation.
Now, you asked of all time, Fabio, that's a different question. Of course, Arsene Wenger, the Invincibles, all the trophies, all this. Yes, Mikel's only won the one FA Cup so far, a couple Community Shields. We kind of count that as Arsenal fans. I know most people don't, but we won them.
You know, Edgar, but I've been there a couple of times in the last couple of years since Arteta has been there. And it's impressive how the fans like him.
Yes.
Like, even though you said he hasn't won the big trophy, but he brought back the Arsenal.
The passion, the love, yes, that was gone.
And I was impressed how well they took him and how excited they are to have a young coach. Because it's going to be impossible for somebody to take Arsene Wenger's spot in their
completely.
Hearts. But I was impressed on how well they accepted Arteta and how like the power he has over the community, and I thought it was pretty impressive. So great name.
North London forever. I'm sure you heard that. I could sing it all right now if I could. I won't
save us, please.
Bore you. Yes. But yeah, Mikel Arteta's a special guy. Hopefully, for his sake, wins a trophy. For our sake, wins a trophy. Preferably, the Premier League would be the one. Of course, the Champions League, everyone wants it, but I think we need to get one over Liverpool this year. Okay, so. Can we move on?
Yeah, so for me, in that same category, I'm going to go with Oscar Pereira.
That's right.
Of course. I'm used to bad managers. That's all I've seen. Adrian...
Becca is giving you a look of disgust.
Do you remember me saying solely Orlando City options? I'm not...
Who is he up against?
All right, let's go through the list. Adrian Heath, 2015-2016. He left for Minnesota United. Project. Jason Kreis, horrible. Left for New York City. James O'Connor, 2018. That's all you need to know. And 2019. That's all you need to know. Oscar Pereira comes in 2020, completely changes.
Mikel Arteta kind of vibes there.
Exactly. See, that's where I was going to go. I like this option because it reminds me a lot. Granted, all we have to show for it right now is an Open Cup in terms of silverware. But we've made 6 straight years in the playoffs when we never made it before, right? We've consistently been involved in the Champions League in the CONCACAF, right? So he's really come in. He's changed this foundation of the club because Oscar Pereira did great work in Dallas at his time as a coach many years ago, practically developed that academy system that we see today and how well they are, right? So it's awesome to see his whole legacy come to Orlando and over the years see our own, club just transform into becoming an actual competitive force in MLS.
Sure.
We just need that final bit of silverware. And last year we were super close, and we'll get onto that in just a few questions or categories, right?
Yeah.
But, man, he's really changed the... And as much as I complain about him, every season, I'm always saying, he's got to go. That's just how it is as a fan,
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
But, he needs a statue because he's changed the trajectory of Orlando City.
That's a deep comment right there. Needs a statue.
He
Okay,
needs a statue.
But he's the obvious answer.
He needs MLS Cup.
Very true. You've interviewed him, Fabio. What are your thoughts on Pereira's time here in Orlando?
I think Pereira has this amazing ability to motivate people and to get the team to follow him.
And we've seen that.
We've had a relationship over the years, and. But you said it right. It's he deserves a statue. I remember when Orlando City first opened, we say, "Are we ever gonna make it to playoffs?" and since Oscar's been here, we've made it to playoff every year.
It's the norm now.
And I think it's due to his amazing leadership skills. And at first, I told him. I said, man, you need to go and work in Brazil because I think you will fit. And I would like to see you at Corinthians.
What did he say?
He's like, oh, no, yeah. But he's done well here at Orlando. And the funny thing, another fun fact, I was in Dallas with my oldest. He was training there at the academy. And he's a legend in Texas.
Wow.
FC Dallas, he's a major name for the MLS, not only the pro side, but the MLS Next. He's one of the people behind it, and yes, Oscar is you picked the right one if you'll talk Orlando City.
The only one.
And I don't think we're gonna have anybody that will kind of surpass. So what's sad about this game, man? And trophies tells everything, right? So. All the foundation that all of the other coaches you mentioned, Heath and Krause and and Oscar now, we're building the foundation, and then next year somebody comes in, or a couple years from now somebody comes in and win the trophy, and that person goes in history.
Right.
But the work that Oscar has done here in the last 6-7 years is impressive.
Absolutely.
So good name.
For sure. You're a manager now.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Chiche.
You know, Chiche, to me, you know, when we talk about this, and the other day I was talking to some of my coaches. I was talking to some of my coaches, and we're one of those long soccer arguments that we have in the office all the time.
Yes.
When you pick the best of anything, I believe it's how that person has done, how that person made you feel, right?
Okay.
So as a fan,
right,
Tite is the greatest of all time, and nobody will ever come back. I think he's one of the most people don't value the person and what he's done for the Brazilian national team and for Corinthians, you know, because you lose a game goes back to soccer. You lose a game, and next thing you know, you're no good.
Right.
He was on the national team for 6 years, and he lost 4 games. So
ridiculous.
That's insane, actually.
Dominated Comebol.
So if you ask all the Brazilian people, all the Brazilian players that played for him, and the Corinthians fan, Tite it's there. But you cannot talk about Guardiola. Man.
Come on.
Yeah.
Guardiola, man. I like his intensity, and when I was a coach, even though I like Tite's people skills and the way that he treats people, but Guardiola's intensity and his desire to be the best of the best all the time, his attention to details, I cannot pick Guardiola in this case, you know. To me, Guardiola is number one, and Tite is a close second.
And you said you like his haircut as well. So that
you know when I was coaching high school and Pep was in Barcelona, they used to call me Pep.
There you go. Not a bad comparison to have.
Yeah, I'm a little taller and heavier than Pep, but it's all right.
It's all good. It's a great comparison. Let's move on to our favorite goals.
Yes.
Okay, and we're going back to 2017 for mine. Olivier Giroud, New Year's Day of 2017. It was a late kickoff against Palace. And we start the play. It started from our defensive penalty area. Boom, boom, boom. Beautiful Wenger ball. And then Giroud comes up with a ridiculous scorpion kick. I'd never seen it before that. I think once maybe Mkhitaryan, I think it was, who hit it for United. That's one of those goals where you just think, man, that's never happening again. Yeah. It was a beautiful move, beautiful finish from Giroud. Easy choice for me.
Yeah, that's everybody knows that goal. Everybody has seen it hundreds of times.
Honorable mention, by the way, Ozil away at Ludogorets in the Champions League when he sat down 2 defenders, chipped the keeper. One of the best goals I've ever seen again. And then I said I was going to bring up Welbeck. It was in 2015-16. We were the only team to do the double over Leicester. I'll have remind you guys of that, okay? That season, that Leicester historic season that they won the league. But yeah, he scored a header late on when we played them at home. Fantastic. 7:30 kickoff. Nice. That's what being a Premier League is about, okay? Which goal stands out for you?
So I had 2 in mind, but one of them, which honorable mention, was the Martin Ojeda volley from this year against Necaxa in Leagues Cup, right? That I sent you outside the box. He just boom,
great goal,
straight into the goal. Beautiful. I had that originally, but we're gonna go back to the 2023 edition of Leagues Cup. So against Santos Laguna, this was literally like 30 seconds after the second half had kicked off. Mauricio Pereira just drives down the midfield. He picks it up. He doesn't have an angle at all. He is extremely tight. He just turns around, doesn't lift his head up, just shoots, and it flies into the top right corner from outside the box. And it was the most satisfying thing to just watch ping from. It just floats into the corner, and I thought it was amazing, an amazing goal, because I had just sat down, I look up, I see him turn, and boom, it just goes into the corner. I love that goal so much. It was probably one of my favorites I've seen in person, so that's why I picked that one.
In person, even better, better. We have some pretty great players. Giroud, goal scorer, clinical. Pereira, great little number 10 for OC. Fabio, you take it to a whole different level. Talk us through this.
Yeah, when you talk strikers, I hope we have time. Becca is controlling our time back here. But, I hope we have time to talk about. I've seen the best of the best of the best.
Yeah.
Like in the 90s and
undoubtedly
2000s. And when it comes to strikers, I don't think we nothing compared to what we've seen. Of course, the game gets faster, the game gets a little more strategical, but Romario, man.
Jeez.
Oh. It's it wasn't to me the most emotional goals, and then I could sit here and say Ronaldo in 2002s with the two goals in the final against Germany, and then Corinthians Libertadores final against Boca Juniors. But there's a goal, and I told you, please don't ask me dates and stuff because I won't remember. Okay. But Romario gets a cross ball, like he's like outside the 18-yard line, and then he chests it. And he chests in the air. Before the ball hits the ground, he hits it over the goalkeeper.
On the volley.
I don't know if you've seen that, but I think it was against Real Madrid, too.
In El Clasico.
And Romario had a bunch of cool stories, and then just if I can share one real quick.
Yes, please.
He had a conversation with what's the name? Oh my God, I should have forgot the mentor of Guardiola in Barcelona.
Johan Cruyff.
Johan Cruyff. And then he said, Johan, like, we're gonna have Carnival in Brazil, and I need to go because it's far. You know, all the European people they have a 2-hour flight and they can go, and then I have an 8-hour flight, and then Johan Cruyff tells him, if you score 2 goals this game, you can go to Brazil. You can go 2 days early to Brazil, and then when you come back. Yeah. So he goes, okay, no problem. So at halftime, he scored 2 goals. Barcelona is winning 2-0. And then at halftime, he comes in straight off the field, goes to the locker room. He starts changing.
What?
And then people say, Romario, what are you doing? It's like, you talk to the boss. I score my 2 goals, and I'm out.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's a true story. And Romario left at halftime to his plane ticket.
But, you know, I did my job.
When you're a guy like Romario, you can do whatever you want, really. So you can do whatever you want. I did my job.
But yeah, we've seen Ronaldo, Romario, Bebeto, you know, the World Cup.
The list goes on and on and on.
Against the U.S. in '94, where Bebeto scored. I think that was the hardest game I've ever watched and against the U.S., which you don't really think that way, but it was 4th of July. I was there, and it was interesting. So we can talk all day about strikers.
That's a great story, though. I mean, just go to the bus. You know what? I'm gone. Where should we go next, Patrick? I know we prepared 8. If we go through all 8, we'll be here until lunchtime. We might need to order some food if we go through all of them. Patrick, which one stands out to you?
Which one? Your favorite win of all time? Your favorite victory of all time?
Okay, I like that question, and I have my answer for you. So, 2017-18 season, we played Tottenham at home. Now, I was no surprised that I went with the North London derby. Those are the best ones.
I went with the rivalry match.
Those are the best ones, and we won that game 4-2. Okay, I believe we took the lead. Kane scored a penalty, as he always did against us. Back and forth game like that, but then Aubameyang. Golazo, okay? Right into the bottom corner, like a Z as well, was slipping when he hit his shot. Lucas Torreira, who I put down as my underrated player of all time,
You've shown me these
scored a goal.
Before.
Yes. We were talking about our favorite games of all time. That win, one of the funnest games I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Just fun goals, fun players in their prime. Aubameyang, I said it, like a Z. Just playing at their peak. That was fantastic. Under Unai Emery, not many great memories under Unai Emery.
Right.
That was the one, though. That's one of my favorite wins of all time. Easy answer for me.
That's a good shout. For me, I'm going to go this year, recent.
Oh?
4-1 against Miami in August, right? Originally, I was going to go 3-1 2 years ago when I went down there for an away trip. And we won 3-1 down there. I was going to do that because the whole day was amazing. Traveling down there, literally, I had graduated high school that morning, and I went down there as like my gift. I bought myself a ticket.
Look at that.
Traveled.
That's right. You told me as well. Yep.
But this year, we did the double over them in league play. We beat them 3-0 in Fort Lauderdale, and then we come back in August up here. We dominate them 4-1 at home. I go straight from work, straight there. I'm in like one of the first couple rows in the supporter section, and I'm losing my mind the whole time. Luis Muriel scores 2 minutes in,
wow,
beautiful. And I loved it. I get to like yell at Suarez, and he's just standing there in front of the goal like a baby. Like he doesn't do anything.
Want to repeat what you were yelling?
No. But like, point is that game was so much fun because they can never do anything in Orlando, and we proved it again. Yeah. And that was just so much fun. It was so much fun. I loved that game.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, fantastic performance. easily one of the best under Pareja. I think
absolutely.
That's no doubt about that. Take us back, though, Fabio, to a Libertadores victory. Okay.
2012.
Where were you? What was your memories of the match?
Where was I wasn't like the most fun place to be.
Okay.
But there's a cool story. Like growing up, since I was born in 1981, and Corinthians had never won the Copa Libertadores.
Before this?
Yeah, so Copa Libertadores wasn't very popular in Brazil until São Paulo started with legendary Tele Santana, started winning like every year. And of course, Santos with Pelé before that. But it wasn't like a tournament that the Brazilian get a lot of excitement into the 90s. So my whole childhood and teenage years, they were talking that Corinthians would never win Copa Libertadores. And we never did.
I hear it all the time. Arsenal will never win the Champions League. I hear it all the time.
Until 2012, when we made it through a fantastic game against Vasco, where Cássio made this miracle save, and then we beat them in the semifinal. We go to the final. We tie Boca over in Argentina at the Bombonera with Romarinho. He scored a goal. Was crazy. This kid was 17 years old and he scored a goal. Then we come back to São Paulo and we beat Boca, which was an amazing game from Emerson Sheik. And then we won the Copa Libertadores for the first time.
Finally.
And I was at home sitting in the couch by myself. I think Moa was with me, and Moa was like 3 years old. And I watched the game. But the cool thing about that is that I had a deal with my wife.
Okay.
Is that it's part of our marriage contract. If Corinthians won the Libertadores, I would have gone to Japan to watch the Copa Internacional. So that day she was at work. I'll never forget that day she was at work and she calls me. It's like, hey, you can buy a ticket, have fun. So 6 months later, I was arriving in Tokyo for
my goodness.
And then we played Chelsea.
And beat Chelsea, didn't you? Wow. World champions.
Yeah. And I was there. So the Copa Libertadores was the most memorable game for me, the final. But I was at home, boring at the couch by myself, watching the game and crying in front of the TV.
But that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it.
But then 6 months later, I was in Tokyo watching Corinthians beat Chelsea.
Wow. Amazing.
That is fantastic. That is
Imagine
fantastic.
a trip like that, Edgar. Imagine.
Well, you've been over there.
I'm saying like to watch like Arsenal or like.
Oh, don't even. I think I'd cry.
Yeah.
I think that's the first thing I'd do.
Yeah.
When I walk out at the Emirates, cry.
Yeah.
I did cry.
Yeah?
I'm a crybaby, like you probably know. But another fun memory that I've had is like Corinthians will never win the Copa Libertadores and Corinthians will never have their own stadium. So I got a ticket to go to the opening of the World Cup in 2014 at Corinthians Stadium.
Wow.
And then I walked on the field and I walked in the stadium.
This guy.
And then when people looked at me, it's like I got on my knees and I kissed the floor.
Yeah.
At the stadium.
Wow.
My friends were like, what are you doing? I was like, it's Corinthians and I'm kissing the floor.
Should you take some grass with you? You should have done that as well.
Yeah.
Man, great memories. And what I'm going to do now is to finish things off, our worst player of all time. Let's finish off with some ridiculous names.
Please. I need to get this out.
I know you have one up your sleeve. Tell me about him.
Okay, so I guess we'll start with me real quick. So we're going to go back to Shane O'Neill.
Do you know who Shane O'Neill is, Fabio Silva?
I think so.
You don't have to, but unfortunately. Here, so we're going to go back to, again, 2018.
What a diabolical year.
He was around for a couple seasons, unfortunately, and... Well, we conceded 74 goals in 2018.
Was he part of the reason?
He was a big part of the reason because you look at him, you watch him on TV or you watch him play, and you're like, how on earth did he get a professional contract at any point? And then you look at his career now, up until now, and it's been all over the place.
Oh my
he found some
goodness.
stability after us in Seattle and Toronto, but I would never employ him willingly. And here in Orlando, he literally was a genuine liability. Kind of how imagine how I complain about Schlegel now, except amplify that by times 10, and it's Shane O'Neill. And make him also like 10 times worse. And he was, for whatever reason, a starter in our back line. And it drove me nuts every time I saw him on the field.
Man.
I remember specifically an away day to Chicago, in 2018, he literally gives up 3 goals that game, and he just doesn't move. Like any defender, they can just walk through him, push him to the side.
Patrick,
he
really
can just move him
guy.
to the side. Yes. This is new to you, Fabio. You haven't seen me in here. It's a different person.
Oh, man.
But man, I was like, oh my God, he needs. What do I do? How do I accidentally find him and accidentally get him hurt so he gets off the field so we can get moving away? You know, like. Eventually moved on. Eventually we moved on. I'm like, I wish you the best, just not
for his safety.
You know,
Yes.
I wish you the best. Like nothing against him personally, but technically here in Orlando City, he was not good.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. He went over to Serbia.
Yeah,
I don't know if you knew.
I don't know what he does.
I don't think he has a club now, but he played
He's been bouncing
3
around.
times for Radniki 1923 in Serbia.
There you go.
There's the update you needed for Shane O'Neill. This was another tough one for me, but I ended up going with Nicolas Pepe. Okay, signed for $80 million. Okay, our record signing at the time, and did nothing. He showed up a couple of Europa League games, scored a couple free kicks against Guimarães from Portugal. Literally nothing else, though. Okay, he was supposed to be the guy.
The big thing.
He was supposed to be $80 million.
Like a revolutionary signing at the turn of the era.
And people know this. We don't spend big money, or used to not spend big money, and he was the guy we trusted, okay, for Unai Emery's Arsenal team.
Revolution.
Yes. But no, the complete opposite, okay? He showed up for a couple seasons. I remember he got a yellow card, I was telling you, away at Leeds United. Mind you, he's a right winger, okay? Getting red cards, not fitting into the Premier League, and I kind of feel sorry for him, you know. Maybe too soon of a move, you know. He had the weight of the price tag. We see that a bunch nowadays. But man, I mean, 80 mil. We had to cut our losses. Had to just release him. I mean, just a disaster all around for Nicolas Pepe. What could have been? But yeah, Nicolas Pepe. I don't need to say any more about that because it honestly pisses me off. Okay, to remember those days where he could be a main guy now. He could have easily, you know, if he hits the ground running at Arsenal, could have easily fit into a team like ours now. But never did. Never did. Fabio, who's your worst player of all time? I'm very intrigued by this answer.
Yes. You know, like when
and I agree with it, by the way. I agree with it.
When I saw that the list you sent me, to get the worst player, like technically, and have that passion that Patrick did.
It's tough. It's tough.
It's too much for me because I am a soccer player and I'm a soccer coach and I am a soccer dad.
I don't like being mean, but
that's why we threw this in there.
So technically, I'm not gonna say I've seen bad.
Yeah.
I've seen
just your least favorite.
I've seen bad, but my least favorite player is Pepe, the Portuguese.
Really?
defender.
What a dirty defender. I agree with you.
I've always liked him.
No.
He could have
dirty.
No. First, he's
Everybody
Brazilian.
hates him.
Did you guys know that?
I did know that, actually.
No, actually, I didn't.
He's Brazilian. He acts like he's European, which is like
bad start.
There's nothing wrong about being European. Just don't act like you forget your roots or something.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
But
okay.
he was a dirty player, like a disgusting stepping on people and hitting people, elbowing. It's just that he wasn't even that good. Like,
no.
He was a top world-class defender.
He made it to the elite level, yes.
But dirty and disgusting.
Yes.
And I don't know, like, I don't know. Sometimes this game is not fair. I tell people that I don't know anything about this game, and I tell people that this game is not fair. Everything that Pepe achieved, I'm sure he has some technicality behind it, but as a person, like disgusting. I don't like him.
No.
I don't like him, and I don't. It's one of those guys that I wouldn't shake his hand.
The famous one around Madrid where the guy goes down and then he kicks him again right up his back.
He steps on Messi's hand, and
he knows what he's doing too. He knows exactly what he's doing. As a fan, watching him would always annoy me. Annoy me.
I don't like Pepe.
But honorable mention. Cucurella.
Oh yeah. I agree with that one too.
You
No,
guys,
I'm sorry.
you
Come
guys
on.
haven't
Come
seen
on.
my rant from last season. They haven't seen anything last season. Remember how I talked about
He
Cucurella
swore
last
on
season?
air. He
On
swore on air.
Sorry, I had to cut you off there.
And you did again today. Anyway, Nick Hernandez got the bleep machine out. But yeah, Cucurella is another one. It's another one.
Get out of here. Loser. What a loser.
Crybaby on the
What a
pitch.
loser. What a loser.
Oh.
He's actually useless.
Plays
Like,
for Chelsea.
I'd actually like willingly like chop off both my legs and like watch him play ever again. Like he's horrible. He's not fun at all. Sorry, I took your spotlight, but like I'm so sorry.
No, hey, with
Go
that
ahead.
passion, go ahead.
Hey, oh my
What a
goodness.
horrible defender. What a horrible defender.
There were some we didn't get to, such as favorite player of all time. You know, for you, Fabio was R9. R9.
Yeah.
Of course.
Neymar was the underrated one.
Nice.
But before we
There's
finish,
so much to go on.
I know there's
Too
so
much,
many.
too
There's
much.
too many. I didn't want to bring up
You're
worst
right.
loss. You know, we were kind of in a too good of a mood for
I
that.
agree.
But I think we hit the main
Yes,
ones.
yes,
I
for
think we
sure.
did good. Fabio, why not? Before we finish, I know we've gone long. A quick word on the work we're doing at Nona and everything going on this season, all the new changes and all that stuff. Before we wrap up.
It seems like Nona, it's a never-ending roller coaster, which
Yeah,
is
it really
which is
is.
fun. Every time we try to settle something, we come up with new ideas. We come up with new things. So one of the best things that happened to us last season and going into this season is to find you guys. It's and I don't have to sit here and kind of. You know, keep tipping your shoulders. And
No,
stuff.
no,
but,
no.
But at the same time, it was very important because
Right.
it's nice to be back here. I love dealing with young people. I never thought I would say that because yesterday I was here, sitting on your spot. But you guys have brought in a whole different ball game for youth soccer, and we're becoming a standard nationally. We're hearing a lot. And opportunities and camera time and show time, microphone time for you guys has become a good platform for you guys to be exposed to more things. So when I came in here today and I saw like you guys actually have a pretty serious gig going, I say, man, I'm so proud of these kids, you know. So for this year, we built our own studio in there.
That's right. That's right.
We're gonna talk over lunch probably if you guys have time. For us to start pumping up more and more content and give you guys that platform for you guys to put your face on the camera and on the microphone as much as we can. And that helps us with social media and everything that I can do to help young leaders like yourselves and be back at UCF and helping the School of Journalism here.
Yeah.
I'm here, so it's exciting. Nona has grown. We're within the MLS network now. NAL, the recreational program, and there are within the next 30 days we'll probably have the biggest news release here that we've ever had in 9 years of Nona.
Stay tuned.
Hopefully we can make that happen. I can't wait. It's November 1st, 9-year anniversary, and big news coming. So stay tuned.
I might know a little bit about that, but we're gonna keep our lips sealed until November 1st. We gotta keep it a nice surprise. But Fabio, thank you so much for coming, my friend. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Octo, thank you so much for joining us on the first two segments. Becca, Alyssa, thank you. You guys got it under control over there always. But stay tuned next week. Because we'll be back doing the same thing, Patrick. More passionate rants, more recaps, previews. We'll come up with some fun stuff. Maybe do club to club with you, Octo.
Think so.
How about that?
I think he needs to come back.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good, Fabio?
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. We'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.